All right, folks, in this video tutorial, I wanted to cover how we import content from one site, one Laulima site to another. So in a previous video, I talked about how in a lessons module, you can kind of eliminate some of the sort of building from scratch, right? Building out your lessons template and then kind of incorporating it into future lessons modules. So this is kind of a continuation of that. Say you're teaching a class this semester and you're going to be doing it again in a subsequent semester, or maybe you have multiple sections of this class that you're teaching in this semester or this upcoming semester. And you don't want to have to build that site multiple times, right? So this is going to allow you to build the site. Again, it's not something that you're not going to build the site perfectly for just importing it into another site and you'd never have to touch it again. What's going to happen is you build the overall structure for a site, the lessons, the assignments, they're all going to be the same. Of course, the due dates might have to be altered, right? But you can build the overall structure of a course. You can build the overall structure of your lessons. And once you set that up in one course site, you can easily import that into another course site. So it eliminates the need of building each individual site over and over and over again. You bring the overall structure over, and then you do some fine tuning and editing at that point, right? So it's a huge time saver. So let's take a look at this site here. So I'm in this site called CAUCC Faculty Staff Guidebook. And in this other site, CalPD Determined Template, I like the lessons module here, right? So if I look at this site, I have this weekly lessons module, and I like this. This is something I want to incorporate into this site here. All right, so all you have to be careful with here is make sure you are in the site that you want to import stuff to, okay? So in this case here, I want to import to this site. So I'm going to click on this course tab. Now I'm in that site. So I'm going to be importing to this site. We're going to go to Site Info. And right along the top here is an option to import from site. So I'm going to select that option. And Laulima gives you several options. You can replace the data in this site, right? Which means whatever site you're importing from, whatever's there, you're going to bring it into here. And this means it's going to overwrite anything you might have done in your site. So just be careful with that one. If you choose that one, if you made changes to this site and some of these changes are things that you want, if you select this option, those changes will be overwritten when you import from that other site. I like to tell people, safest thing to do, select the second option, merge. Unless you're very certain that you don't want to keep anything from this site, go ahead and select that first option, right? If you're unsure, select this other option. And what this allows you to do, or what it's going to do, is it leaves whatever's here already, and it's going to import the rest of the stuff over without deleting this. So that's probably the safer option. I only use this one again if I'm 100% sure there's nothing here that I want. So let me just show you what that looks like. I'm just going to use the second option because it's essentially the same. So I'm going to click on this. I would like to merge, and then it gives you a list of courses to choose from. So let me just find. So now this is the tricky part. You just have to find that one, right? So CalPD Determined, there it is, template. So if I select that, and right down here on the bottom, I'm going to click on continue. Now, what you see next, and Laulima likes to warn you, right, with these red boxes. So content imported from the resources tool will be visible by default, meaning it will be accessible to site participants like guests, student roles, although a site administrator can modify this setting. So if you're importing the resources, right, so if you're taking the resources from this site and you're going to be putting it into this other site, it's going to have this setting. So it's just warning you if that's something you need to change or you want to change, you're going to have to do that manually after the fact. Now, other things you need to be aware of. If I select this checkbox here, it's going to take all importable content from this site. It's going to select all of it. And if I click finish, it's going to bring all of this stuff over. So any test and quiz, syllabus, resource, any lessons I did in this site, the gradebook. So that's the settings and any gradebook items, any forums I created, calendars. I don't know if it brings over the events, but anyway, it brings the calendar over, the calendar tool, anything in assignments, announcements, right? So it's going to bring everything over. If you want to be more selective, right? Because remember, I just wanted to bring over, or maybe I didn't say this. All I wanted to bring over into this site was this thing here, right? The lessons. I don't want the rest of it. The rest of the stuff I'm going to create in that site on my own. So I'm just going to select this. I'm just going to select lessons, and then I'm going to click on finish. And it tells you here, your import process has been queued, might take a few minutes, and they're going to email you when it's ready. Quite frankly, it's pretty quick. If I refresh this page, there it is. Weekly lessons is here now, right? Weekly lessons wasn't here. I imported it, and there it is. And if I look at this, right? So remember, I'm in this site here. If I click on start here with steps, right? This is what it looks like. And if I go back, this is what it looks like, right? Now you'll notice these images are not showing up. And the reason for that is, and this is something that you need to be aware of, right? I just thought I was going to bring over my lessons and I was going to be good. But the reason why these are blank is because I didn't bring over the resources. Because my lessons module from in this site, right? All of these images were coming from my resources. Because I didn't import those, it didn't come over, right? So if I look at this module now, or excuse me, if I go to this site, right, and I look at this weekly lessons module that I imported, all the images are broken. So I could alter this and edit one by one, or I could go back, right? So I'll go to site info again, and I'll go to import from site again. I'm going to say merge, right? Definitely want to merge now because I already started tinkering. I'm going to find my site. Here it is. Click continue. And then I'm going to say, oh, I need those resources too. Right? So I'm just being selective again. I already brought my lessons over. I notice I'm missing my resources. So let me go ahead and bring those over now. Now let's go back here. So here we are, right? I'm still in that site I was importing to. The images that were broken are now here, right? So that is how you import from one Laulima site into the other. Again, let me just go over some of the key aspects, right? So we'll go to site info, we go to import from site. So import from site, right? So you have to be in the site that you're in. I select import from site. Again, be careful how you use these. Oh, I didn't talk about this last one. By the way, if you want to merge the users, you can do that as well. Again, be careful with that one. If you import or merge users from one site into the other and you publish this site and those students are not in your class, it'll appear in their Laulima menu, right? It might appear in their sites drawer, or if there might be even on their favorites bar. So the only time you would probably want to merge users is if they, this was like a class that you had multiple sections of it. So say you're teaching 3 sections of English 100 and you only wanted one course site for all of them. You could merge all the users from those other sites into one, and then build one site instead of multiple sites. So there are some times when you might want to use this option, but just be careful. Um, I've never really done that before, where I've run multiple sections of my course from one site. Um, but I suppose it could work. Maybe you're doing uh, you have 3 sections of English 100. They're all online. They're all going to have the same deadlines and that sort of thing. Then maybe it would make sense to put all the users in one site. Um, or you could, actually, there's another way when you actually merge sections of a course together. So anyway, be careful with that merge users one. I I try not to use it, or I leave it alone, because I don't know if you merge users how that affects your ability to post grades, because technically they won't. You'll be posting grades in this section of the course and not the one that they're actually registered for. So I don't know how that'll impact some of the other capabilities in Laulima. To me, leave the students in the sections that they're enrolled in, and then just merge the content over into those sites and then manage them separately. So anyway, again, so back to the original thing I was talking about. Be just You have to choose, right? How do you want to merge the data? It's one of the, or excuse me, how do you want to import the data? Either overwrite existing data or merge it. Once you select any of those options, it's just a matter of finding the site that you're importing from. Then you're going to click on continue. Then it's a matter of either selecting all of them or being selective. Just be careful, like my earlier example showed you. If you're not bringing over the resources, but some of these other tools are relying on it, and you only bring this over, some of the options or some of the items may be broken. So just remember, you just have to make sure the content that you're copying, you're bringing all of it over, you're importing all of it over correctly. Once you're happy, you click finish. And actually, they warned you down here, right? So if you do not select to import all materials from the origin site, some links may break. So it warned you already, right? If you're happy, you click finish. If you're not happy, you selected the wrong site, you can go back, or you can always cancel. So anyway, that's how you do it. So again, huge time saver. Don't worry about building every aspect of the site or of a site from scratch. You can easily import from one site to the other. By the way, this doesn't work just for like the same course. Say, for example, what I've been asking you guys to do in previous lessons, right? Build out your ideal lessons module. And again, that doesn't mean get all the specifics, right? Just get the structure right, get the overall section breaks, column breaks. Where do you want checklists? Where do you want images? Where, put all of your header placeholders in. Your header 1 for instructions, right? Or welcome message, header 2s for detailed instructions. Build all of that stuff out. And then every time you have a new site, you can bring that lessons module in, it becomes your template, and you build from there using the lessons that you learned about copying content from one lessons to another, right? So it's huge time saver when you can import from a site, and as well as how you copy um, content from one lessons module to another, which wasn't discussed in this video, was discussed in a previous one. So anyway, that's how you import from site. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.